We, of course, turn now to the coronavirus pandemic. Restrictions slowly lifting around the area as the tri-state's governors who've shepherded us all through this are now projecting some cautious optimism as we get closer to the unofficial start of summer next weekend. And these are the places that are reopening across New York State. Landscaping and gardening businesses, drive-in movie theaters, there aren't a lot of them, but I'm sure they're going to be packed, and low-risk outdoor recreation like tennis. Well, by June 1st, Governor Cuomo says that horse racing and auto racing at Watkins Glen International can begin and hold competitions, but no fans in the stadiums, none whatsoever. Meanwhile, social distancing enforcement getting stricter at some of the most popular parks in the city. That includes Pier 45 and 46 at Hudson River Park on the west side and the Sheep Meadow in Central Park. And of course, Domino Park in Brooklyn. We've been talking about that for the last several days now. And that's where we find today New York's Ken Buffer this morning. And Ken, we're probably going to get some pretty big crowds again today. I see you're pretty much alone now. That's going to change very shortly.
Yeah, that will, because the city is essentially trying to keep up with all these New Yorkers flocking outdoors because of the nice weather. And here at Domino Park, you can see they have signs and even circles on the lawn reminding those heading outdoors that social distancing is still very important. Now, take a look at this video from yesterday. It's a crowded Domino Park. Its officials closed off nearby streets to give pedestrians more room to spread out. And on the ground, like I showed you, painted circles to help with some visual guidance on social distancing here, because that's still so important. Now, over in Central Park, cops trying to steer the herd a bit by limiting access to Sheep Meadow, like you said, Pat. But outside of that, plenty of joggers and cyclists enjoying the outdoors, with most wearing face coverings. Now, lastly, at Hudson River Park, where overcrowding has been an issue, cops were on patrol while at the same time handing out masks.
People have been home for the last 2 months. They're tired of being home. They want to get some fresh air, and they want to live their life.
Now, of course, before we reopen, officials say there has to be more testing, and that's why they're offering testing at 23 hospitals across 5 boroughs. And get this, they say tracing is super crucial as well, and that's why they are hiring more than 500 tracers, some of them non-medical. But back out here live in Domino Park, you can see those circles are there, and they'll be filled, like you said, Pat, later today. That is latest from here in Domino Park. Ken Buffer, today in New York.
Ken, they're already starting to trickle in. Thank you. Well, in New Jersey, more than 1,200 new cases of coronavirus were reported yesterday. The state total now standing at just over 145,000, and another 115 people, unfortunately, died from that virus, bringing the death toll to 10,249. And health officials say the number of patients in critical care has actually decreased, that as the overall infection rate drops. New Jersey officials are thinking ahead now to summer. Governor Phil Murphy signed an executive order allowing waterfront rentals and charter boat fishing services to set sail beginning this morning. But there are a couple of new rules that everybody has got to follow.
We will require specific social distancing and sanitation measures to be followed, including the implementation of online or telephone payment systems to further lessen direct person-to-person contact, among other procedures spelled out in my order.
Well, if you're planning to spend some time outdoors today, part of Adams Street in Hoboken is going to be closed to vehicular traffic so that people can spread out and walk around. Beginning this morning at 8, Adams Street will be shut down between 3rd and 9th. Hoboken experimenting with this over the last couple of weeks, and it's going to reopen to cars tonight at 8 o'clock. And also in New Jersey, the Newark Archdiocese is beginning a phased reopening this morning. You're looking live at the Cathedral Basilica of the Sacred Heart in Newark. Churches are going to be open for private prayer, but still no Sunday masses, and all parishioners have to wear masks. Staff members will be on hand to make sure that they keep social distancing and sanitizing. And no word yet when masses will resume. In Connecticut, more than 36,700 people have now been diagnosed with COVID-19, and about 3,300 people have died there. The number of hospitalizations also dropping. It's below 1,000 for the first time in Connecticut, and starting Wednesday of this week, some non-essential businesses will be allowed to reopen, of course, with social distancing rules in place. And we turn to Long Island now, where COVID-19 has claimed over 3,700 lives. But again there, hospitalizations are on a downward trend. And Governor Cuomo announced that elective surgeries can now resume in Suffolk County as that area looks toward reopening. Local leaders still lobbying to salute county veterans by placing flags on their graves for Memorial Day.
Understand, because of this virus, we have had to change the things that we do. And unfortunately, that has also meant changing the way that we honor the members of our armed forces and honor our veterans. And we take that very seriously here in Suffolk County.
Well, of course, public Memorial Day events have been canceled, but the Suffolk County Executive, Steve Bellone, there calling on the Department of Veterans Affairs to at least allow flags to safely be placed at non-VA cemeteries to honor those who have served our country. And here is a look at the overall numbers across the tri-state area. Thus far, more than 530,000 people have been diagnosed with COVID-19. We all know that number is much higher because many people never got a diagnosis but know they've been sick. And more than 30,000 lives have been lost to the virus, more than 36,000. And nationally, more than 1.4 million Americans have now been diagnosed with COVID-19, and more than 89,000 people have died from the virus.